Hello, I'm Jennifer Youngworth, and I chose the research topic of emotional and behaviorally disturbed students in the middle school. I chose the research topic question of how do emotional and behavioral disturbances affect student learning, and how can educators keep an organized classroom, consistent student engagement, and achieve academic success with students that are emotionally disturbed. I chose this research topic for a couple different reasons. The first is that I researched emotional and behavioral disturbances earlier this semester and found some fascinating research. Among the research, one statistic stood out to me. 3 to 6% of students are diagnosed or labeled as emotionally disturbed. And of those 3 to 6% of students that are emotionally disturbed, less than 1% receive any help from their district. As a future educator, this greatly disheartened me. I was wondering, why aren't we helping these students? What do we need to do to make sure that these students are able to learn to the best of their abilities? Secondly, I recalled a conversation that I had had with my clinical educator earlier this year. She noted that the 8th grade class this year has had an increase in just behavioral issues in the classroom. On a weekly basis, students are yelling out obscenities. They're shouting out, "I'm going to kill myself." They're throwing things. These disturbances greatly hinder, the instruction of the educator as well as the other students' learning. The students right now are just booted out of class and sent to a resource room where they work with a teacher aide. They're removed, from the classroom where they're not getting effective guidance from their teacher. They're not able to work with their peers. And I think that greatly hinders, a student's learning and the academic success that they can achieve versus what they could achieve being in the classroom with their teacher and their classmates. So in order to gather ideas and ways that I can better run my classroom as well as work with emotionally disturbed students, I interviewed 4 educators in the middle school. I interviewed veteran English language arts teacher Kathy Wolf. She's been teaching for more than 12 years. I interviewed first year teacher McKenna McCreary. She teaches 8th grade math in the middle school. I also interviewed with middle school ESP Taylor Krogman and middle school special education teacher Casey Sumners. All 4 of my interviewees were given no more than 10 open-ended interview questions. I chose open-ended interview questions in order to get more in-depth anecdotal responses in regards to how to manage my classroom, engage my students, and work with my special learners, especially those that are emotionally disturbed. The interview questions were answered wonderfully. I received a great amount of feedback from these educators on what works, what doesn't work, what they wish that they could do, the resources that they need. They also provided a lot of firsthand accounts and personal narratives on things that have happened to them over the years in their educational experience and how they handled it. Their experience is definitely insurmountable. It is something that I can take with me as I move into my student teaching next semester, and it's something that I can use as I grow as an educator. One thing that all of the respondents did reply the same on was the fact that they need more training in their position, whether they're a special education teacher or a general education teacher. They need more training and more resources to work with their special learners. So when asked if there's anything that I could do differently for my project, I would have liked to have incorporated interviews from administrators. If I went back and redid my interview questionnaire, I would contact Don Lyons, I would contact Superintendent Kirk Easton, and I would ask them, what's needed to have the time, the funding, the resources for these educators to go out and on a district level, a state level, even a national level, and gain the training that they need to feel confident in their position and working with their special learning students. Again, overall, this project was very valuable. It was a great learning experience, and I have a variety of, tips and tricks and resources that I can go pull from as I begin my student teaching. I also was able to build relationships with my new colleagues next semester, which will be invaluable as I move along in my educational career.